Hey guys, wanted to go over a quick video of what I think I would do if I were to start over to look for a data analyst position, a roadmap, I guess you could say. So, first thing I would actually start with if I were to do a completely new roadmap is I would start with SQL. Any data job, data science, data scientist, data analyst, business analyst, data engineer, whatever you plan on doing, you need to learn SQL. SQL is so critical to our functions as any data professional. You should know at least the basics of SQL because your job is going to most likely provide you with the SQL queries that you need to do your day-to-day tasks, right? Some data analysts, right, only work in Excel. That's to me is crazy, but essentially learn SQL, practice SQL, and if you don't like SQL, then you won't like being in the data industry. I think that's what I would say. Now, this website called W3 Schools is a nice free website where it'll give you SQL lessons, show you exactly how to work with SQL, learn SQL, and have SQL exercises, right? What's missing in this statement, right? Select. Oops. There you go. Correct, right? You can try yourself. So let's run the SQL. Let's see. Let me move myself out the way. Let's see what is in this table, right? Customer ID, customer name. Let's play with this dashboard here. Let's see all the customer names in this customer table. Run SQL. Okay. See, so you have a nice, easy to use resource to practice your SQL, and I think there's more tables here you can try. Categories, select all. Yeah, so you can try and use a couple of other tables in their database. So you have a bunch of different tutorials, which I think will cover everything you need to know. Inner joins, left joins. So if I were to start over, I would use this resource. I mean, it's free and it's pretty easy to use. So the next thing I would recommend is a data visualization tool, right? Having some place to display your data. How will people make decisions based off of the data that you query, right? So there's first and foremost Power BI, which is what I currently use in my job. We're a government agency, so most likely I would think most government agencies would use a Microsoft platform like Power BI. I like it. I like it more than Tableau, which I'll get into, but it depends on the person, right? It depends on your company. Whatever their requirements are, I would focus on their needs, right? And then work on learning that platform instead. So you have Power BI. This is unfortunately not free. I mean, you can try for free, but it's kind of confusing to use to start up. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to have a free trial with Power BI. Whereas if you use Tableau, right? Tableau actually has a demo. You can actually try and install it on your platform, connect it to a mock SQL database, use Excel files, and you can start building data visualizations with Tableau. Now, I personally don't like Tableau. I just don't like the way it works. I mean, I used it a lot in school, but I never was a fan. I don't want to install it to try to use it again. Maybe I will for the sake of I can use it for free, but personally, again, I prefer Power BI. It's a little more simpler to use, but yeah, the second tip is basically use a data visualization tool to show exactly what your data means. Essentially, right? You want to make it as easy as possible for your stakeholders to read it first and foremost, and then make decisions off of it, right? So keep it simple. Don't go too crazy with that. Now the next, so I think those two tools is all you need as a data analyst. It would be beneficial to learn the following tools. For me personally, that's what I use to make my life easier, but to stick to the basics, I think SQL and a visualization tool is just enough. Now, the third task I would say is learn Python, right? Python is the language of data almost. I mean, SQL is the language of data, but Python is very data science oriented. It's very data wrangling oriented. You can transform data, you can create tables, you can do almost anything you want in Python. And I use this tool to create my data pipelines. Now, this has made my life so much easier at work because when I first started, I would manually have to go into the SQL database, write the scripts, change the dates, do this, do that, export it, right? Do pivot tables, do that, do this. Whereas here, you can try this tool, try it out, the demo. But basically you have these data pipelines, right? These are obviously their demos. It doesn't really mean anything, but let's see this, for example.
If it loads. No, maybe not that one. Let's see. Let's try this one. See, this one failed apparently.
Edit pipeline, let's see. Okay, so here is essentially what I use to load data into, I guess, this platform, data loader, right? I would have SQL statements in here. I would have a data transformer right here, exactly. And I would use this to basically create pivot tables using Python, specifically the pandas library, right? So here you have your data frame from the data loader. And then you can do basically anything you want as long as you learn a little bit of Python. You return whatever you're returning. And then I have a data exporter below here that essentially emails those Excel files to myself and a bunch of other stakeholders. So whoever needs it, whoever needs to mail out letters, for example, I think it makes, again, my life so much easier. This runs in my sleep. I wake up, everything is sent. I can build the reports that I need. I have all the Excel files that I need to build the reports in Excel. So I can execute all blocks, all upstream blocks here, and it should work. I mean, this is just the demo, but you can play around and see what you can do with it. Maybe I'll make a video on how to use this and how to build your own data pipelines. But essentially, this is more of the data engineering aspect of it. But again, learning Python will definitely expand your skill set, expand your potential, and make your life a lot easier. So it doesn't want to finish running. But anyways, so you have these graphs to see exactly how each block is downstreaming to its final transformer, I guess you could say. So this is really fun stuff, really cool stuff. I love it, and yeah, it's called Mage.ai, demo.mage.ai. You can try it out. Now the last thing I would say, I guess, for past the data analyst, past the data engineer, is the data scientist, right? I'm not a data scientist. I haven't done any work as a data scientist professionally. I've done a lot of work at school and some work on my own just to learn exactly how the machine learns, right? It's machine learning. So this is an example of a neural network which uses this MNIST dataset. And it is a collection of 60,000 handwritten digits, right? 28 by 28 pixel images. So someone hand wrote all of these images and essentially donated this to, so we can play around with it and do research with it, right? Build models off of this. So it's a really good data set to use, and I would recommend this if you're starting out. Maybe not starting out, but once you have some grasp of machine learning. So here's an example of one of the images, the 28 by 28 images. So essentially what we're trying to do here is figure out what digit this is, right? Not us, but the machine. So is this a 1? Is this a 3? Is this a 7? Right? To me it looks like a 5, but how does the machine know that? So you have to process the data. You have training data, testing data. You have the model, right? You have the atom optimizer. I think you'll hear that a lot if you follow a lot of machine learning videos. We fit the model, right? We have epochs. Epochs is just basically how many times it'll iterate. You can see that the accuracy goes up over time and the loss score goes down, which is good. You know, you evaluate the model and then you make your predictions, right? Predictions, predict equals model dot predict with the X test dataset. So we're predicting the first integer in the array, which the machine says it's a 7, and then we plot it to see what it was, and it's a 7. So, you know, it's just very complicated stuff, but it's fun. There's image recognition. I mean, there's so much you can do with data science and machine learning. I think it's incredible. I think of Uber, you know, algorithm when you're looking to travel to work or something, right? How much are they going to charge you, right? They have algorithms in the background. They have data scientists, machine learning engineers in the background that build this stuff, and it's really fascinating to me. But overall, I think, not to get too far ahead here, I think just to recap, as a data analyst, you really only need the SQL. You only need the data visualization tools. And if you do want to take that next step further to build pipelines, build models, right, you can learn Python. That's where Mage and these neural networks come in. But this is more of the data engineering side. You know, I think as an analyst, you'll probably have a team of data engineers as well. Maybe not in this sense, maybe they have background in COBOL, right? So SQL, data viz, and Python, it's really all you need. And then based off of your work, I think you can go really far with this. So if you have any questions, want to see more information on what I do on a day-to-day, let me know. If you want to see more SQL questions, Python questions, let me know. And I hope to see you guys again in the next video.